It's been another week. We are 2 weeks from shooting.
Yeah.
From starting shooting.
Yeah, how does it
And then we
make you?
shoot for like 3 months.
How does it? How you feel about that?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoop.
There's still a lot to do, but we've done a lot.
We have done a lot. We've done a lot this week.
Yeah. And we've done a lot
the previous
this
weeks.
evening.
Yeah. I do have a list. I know you were worried.
I think, because you will look at me a lot during this, I think if I'm on this side, your face will be more in the video. Well, I forgot last week.
What'd you forget?
2 weeks ago, when I was editing the update, when I was done editing the update, and I was like titling it, update 10. It's not the titles, but I just titled them update number whatever. Since the thing, and it was update 10, and I was like, 10. I am exporting update 10 right now. We just shot it outside on the thing, and I just said it's been 10 weeks because it's update 10 since we launched the initial video. It does not feel like that.
No. But then again, like emotional roller coaster of the last 10 weeks of like watching the initial rise of money and like the incredible warmth of like our community.
Yeah.
So many different things that we've
There's
been
just so
through.
much has happened in 10 weeks.
10 weeks.
It feels like no time at all.
Yeah.
We were talking about it, and I just had to pull out my phone and be like, dude, this is actually a thing that's happening in them right now. It just happened so fast.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was just going through, I was entering some receipts into some spreadsheets. I like some spreadsheets.
Oh man, you're the spreadsheet master.
Some of them were from like early June or like April, and I'm like, wow.
I always thought it's gonna be 3 tough months of like scheduling and like working. But this month has been so much work.
Yeah.
So it's 4 tough months.
Yeah.
Didn't plan on it, but of course.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. Everybody, not just us, everybody is working so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Steve has had everybody working at the haunt, trying to get the haunt ready for haunt season so that when we're done shooting in there, they're ready to go. We think we finally have our sound thing worked out by kind of cobbling together schedules of various people, which is great. Still missing hair and makeup. SAG is inching closer and closer to us being a signatory.
Hopefully this time next week we'll...
Be a signatory.
Yeah.
There's a lot that we didn't understand about the ultra low budget contract.
Yeah.
Which is not a ULB, it's a UPA.
Uh-huh. Those letters.
We'll go into that another time. There's
Sure.
too much to talk about this update.
Yeah.
Alex, the DP, he sent out a blast this week to his patched together crew as well, because with the weirdness of our weekend schedule, it's hard for people to commit all the way through. We have several people, like lots of people, who have committed all the way through.
Yeah.
Like Nico and Alex. But Nico, she's the costume designer. We saw her in like week 3 or something like that, way back then. Has been getting people in for wardrobe fittings.
Yeah, I mean, she'd created like the arcs for wardrobe beforehand,
With
clear
them.
aesthetics for each individual character that she was working on. She's been buying and creating, but she also has been starting the meetings
Today.
with the individual characters to work on their wardrobe.
She started meeting people today, and she has more meetings tomorrow. Also tomorrow, speaking of Steve, the haunt is great for most of the movie, and we've selected various rooms to be various rooms for the movie. But there are 2 rooms that need to serve very specific purposes and kind of be laid out in a very specific way. Realm of Terror also has a couple of semi-trailers in the parking lot. And so tomorrow, we'll probably see some of this in next week's update, he and Olaf, the box builder, are going to be assembling those rooms inside of a semi-trailer so that they are there, ready for our use whenever we need them. They're the only 2 rooms that are going to be built specifically for the movie. I'm going to head over there and help in any way I can.
Yeah.
And hopefully shoot a little footage. I'm not great at, like, remembering to shoot.
Dude, I get it.
There's just so many things to talk about that I'm not, like, thinking about, like, putting that there.
Documenting simultaneously.
But we documented a few things this week. 1, you and I sat down for 2 nights in a row. It took us 2 nights to map out call times of crew and actors.
3 nights if you add mapping out meal times as well.
Right, so yes, call times is what time people show up on set. Right now we have a lot of the first actors on camera showing up at the exact same time as crew shows up. that might shift as we get a little bit more into the rhythms of our shoot. Like, we haven't worked with basically any of the crew members before, except for Tommy Martin, who's first AD. You'll see him later in the update.
Who has also been working hard, but we'll get to that later.
Oh yeah. We just kind of looked at the scenes we're shooting each day, decided when people should be showing up, when they would leave, and with SAG, there are a lot of considerations of that because after 8 hours, we'll get into all of this.
Yeah, I mean, SAG just has a really
Mapped out union
what
timeline.
counts as standard, what counts as time and a half, etc.
Yeah.
And when those things begin.
Absolutely. So that took us 2 nights. I also had kind of close COVID exposure.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm masked in the house for those few days. COVID compliance is a big thing with SAG.
COVID compliance has been a big element this week.
Yeah, we have to find a COVID compliance officer, someone who's there just to reinsure the COVID compliance protocols for the union. That person has to be on set every day and not have any other position on set. Originally it was just gonna be me, but there has to be
A separate person once you're over 10.
new daily cases out of 100,000 in the area that you're
And our area is
filming.
currently at 35-ish.
Yeah, 35-ish. And the transmission rate has to be under 1.1%, which it currently is.
Yeah.
But both things have to be
True at the same
operating
time.
at the same time.
We've been figuring all of that out this week.
So Nico's doing that, Steve's doing that, Alex is doing that. Nick, our production designer, he just got his budget. So he's doing that. We had a meeting over StreamYard with Tommy Martin. All right, it's Wednesday night. Eliza's working on a puzzle, but she has been working on onboarding payroll crew people. I have been sitting here talking to Tommy Martin, first AD.
Hey everybody.
And we've been going through the call sheets he's been working up and all sorts of stuff, kind of trying to figure out what we're going to do about all the background in the picture, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Updated.
He makes some beautiful spreadsheets. Can I just say, let's put some spreadsheet appreciation out there.
Yeah, he really does. He's been putting together all the call sheets for all of production. And call sheets, much like call times, are the sheets that let everybody know where the location is for the day, who comes in when, what the meal times are, what the weather's like, where the nearest hospital is, like all of the things that like they're all on a call sheet. And then Tommy Martin, because he's super friggin' cool, also puts a relevant quote on the call sheet, putting a bunch of horror movie quotes on all of the call sheets, and it's super, super fun.
And while he's doing that too, he's also evaluating if the scenes make sense, if there's something from one day that might be able to move to another day to make things a little bit tighter, to make things a little bit easier.
Because there are some things, just because of the nature of the movie and how kind of spread out it is around the haunt, and a couple other locations. Speaking of locations, there is another location that's not the haunt and not an escape room that's in the movie. That's a motel. There's no secret there.
I mean, we don't know what it is, so like there's really no secret.
I'm looking for a motel.
You're not looking for a hotel.
No hotel. Motel. Motorway Motel would be the best.
We're looking for Schitt's Creek.
I'm looking for Joyride.
You're looking for Joyride.
Which is a great movie. You should watch Joyride. I should watch Joyride. I'm not watching movies. I'll talk about that later.
Something, one story, doors to the exterior.
First person I got on the phone was like, no thank you. We have monthly live-ins here. We only have this many rooms. It's just not going to work. I was like, okay. Understood. Second place didn't have a working phone number. The third place, there was a communication barrier when we got on the phone. So I was like, okay, fine. I drove to both of those locations. The first one was like, we tried this before. And the people, when they were in the room, they were like, we paid for the room. We can do whatever we want. And then they were loud all night. It was terrible. We can't do it. And I was like, what about just the parking lot? Because we could fake a motel room, but what about just the parking lot? She's like, we tried it. It just really didn't work for us. These rooms are for sleeping now. And I was like, okay, I gotcha. And the other place I went to, I walked into the main office and rang the bell, and then I saw that through the door, the main office is here, the desk is here, there's a door into like living quarters, and on the couch is somebody, and they saw me ring the bell and they were like, ha. And I was like, oh, are you the manager, or are you working? He was like, I was like, I'm hoping to speak to somebody, maybe the owner or anybody who could kind of connect me to the owner. And he was like, I was like, okay, I'm not comfortable bringing people here. So I am going to leave right now. So yeah, still working on that, working on COVID compliance, looking for beauty, hair, and makeup.
You've been doing shot listing.
Got a shot list out. I have another night shot listed that I haven't typed up yet. I'm in the middle of our third night of shooting shot list at this point, but I needed to go back to the location because when I wrote the movie, I had a very non-functional knowledge of the layout of the haunt and the entertainment center, the family fun entertainment center that is connected to the haunt. And I had a sequence kind of running through them. And it's not laid out the way that I really thought it was.
Yeah.
So I had to go today to go walk through the location and plan out the most effective way to plan a suspenseful sequence in kind of a oneer. And we'll see how much of a oneer we get with it.
And then you rewrote the scene.
And then I rewrote the scene and then I sent that out.
Did you feel that the scene was stronger or weaker?
Yeah, every time, guys. Every time. It's much better. I had more action in the previous scene.
Yeah.
But also, because we had to get rid of stunts like we talked about last week, this scene is now built around suspense and kind of cat and mouse, which on our budget level is great, but also for the sequence itself just makes it a stronger horror sequence. It's like a thriller sequence instead of like an action sequence. The limitations always make you kind of have to work a little more creatively.
Yeah.
And it pays off.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll get thrown a whole bunch more limitations that we don't know about.
Okay, all right.
And Corey's been doing a bunch of awesome sculpting.
Yeah.
Repainting of props to make them look better and more
Yeah.
accurate and like more threatening. That whole thing where we couldn't get the props from the place we wanted in time, and then we got...
But you found another vendor who's faster, who's cheaper, and who we're pretty sure hand punched
an entire head
of
of hair
hair
and some beard
into
into a
a-
severed head.
Yeah.
Like just in a couple of days. It was really, really amazing turnaround.
Yeah.
Great work too. I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
I've got to, so we, like, tonight even, update night, it's Saturday, you're watching this on Sunday. If you run to watch the updates, you're watching this whenever you watch this. I planned to just shoot the update at the end of the night tonight, because if I shoot the update earlier, I get into the editing, and then actual movie stuff falls off my list.
Gonna
We
have
had
to
too much
figure
movie
out-
stuff to do.
We're gonna have to figure out.
So, like, the fact that we are shooting this late for us
Yeah.
means that I can force myself to edit. I do it all the time. I force myself to edit late into the night when there's a deadline, and that I can do. But, like, trying to craft emails or working up shot lists, typing up shot lists I could do late at night. Probably not after I'm done editing this tonight, though.
No.
We're still working on it, guys.
It's a work in progress.
You're doing so much good work on the movie.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.